and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, this is just basically, I don't actually know whether I've mentioned it on other videos, but I'm going to reiterate it. So the plan is when I go to Kotor and Mostar. Now, when I've been on those trips before, last year basically, and the year before, a couple of years, I've done it a few years, so the last couple of years I've done this. When I've gone to Kotor, right, from Dubrovnik, and you've gone through the border control, which you have to do, then you stop for a coffee either at a garage or at the shopping centre at Herceg Novi before you carry on to Perast. I'm going to do something slightly different. Now, when you go to Perast, you usually get given the option to go on the boat to the Lady of the Rocks, right? Now, I did that in October, and it rained. Absolutely tipped it down with rain. Okay, so more than likely the weather will be a lot better because I'm going the back end of May, so the weather should be pretty reasonable. It's getting very close to June, which is the start of the summer season, so it's going to be pretty warm. I'm pretty sure it's going to be very sunny and very warm. Okay, so the plan is for on this trip that I am not going to go on the boat to the Lady of the Rocks, because you usually get about an hour, hour and a half in Perast, okay? So I will just go from where the guide says we've got to meet, and I will just go down the road and just explore the little town of Perast, do lots of photographs and videos, and go to a cafe and have a cup of tea and just chill, okay? And then several of the group will obviously meet back where the guide says we've got to meet, and then they will go over on the boat to go and do the Lady of the Rocks, right? Now, if everybody goes over there but me, that doesn't matter. I will just wait or linger around till they come back, because I've been over there a couple of times, and there isn't a great deal to see, to be honest, and you have to pay to go in the church, and you even have to pay to go to the toilet over there now. So I'm thinking, well, why not just use the restaurant and go to the loo in there, if that's what you need to do, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So depending on how many people go on the trip to the Lady of the Rocks, I'm not going to go. I will remain until they come back, and then we all head to the coach, and then you head down to Kotor, right? So, and then you normally get about 3 hours in Kotor. Now, this is the next difference that I'm going to be doing. Now, the last couple of times I've gone to Kotor, the weather's been a bit iffy, but also I've ended up joining the walking tour, which has left very little time to have lunch and also to go and do the fort at the back of Kotor, which I usually like doing. It used to be €8, it's now 15, but I tell you what, it is worth every single cent. There's a lot of steps, there's 1,500 steps in total, there's 500 up to the church, which is halfway up, and then there's another 1,000 to the top, okay? So on average, it takes about 40 minutes to climb from the bottom right the way up the top. But the views over Kotor and the bay are amazing. And I've done it when I've been on a cruise, so I do know what to expect. But to actually go and do some more video footage up there will be amazing. So the plan is, when I go to Perast, I do not go to the Lady of the Rocks. And when I go to Kotor, I do not join the guide for the local walking tour. I will basically just go with the group off the coach when the coach has dropped us off in Kotor, which is usually around midday, and you've generally got about 3 hours till about 3:30 before you then have to head back to the border, which is an hour drive, to go back through the border, which can take quite a while depending on how many cars are there, how many coaches are there, to get back into Croatia to then head back to Dubrovnik. And then you're obviously dropping everybody off in the process. So it is a very long day, because you're going from like 7:15 in the morning, getting picked up at the hotel, either on a coach or in a car, and then you're taken to where the coach picks you up and you get on the bus there, and then you get dropped off, and then you might get taken back in a transfer vehicle. So it's a very long day. It's at least 11, 12-hour day, but it is worth every single cent, because it's euros, so it's cents and euros, okay? So with Kotor, I will not be doing the walking tour with the guide. All I will do is go to where the guide is, where they tell you what time you've got to be back at the bus, which is usually 3:30. So when the guide says we meet back here, or you meet at the buses at 3 o'clock or 3:30, right? Whichever time they say. And I think, right, I'm not joining the walking tour, and I will just go straight into the old town of Kotor on my own with my phone on the stick, and I will just do videoing and I will get something to eat from probably one of the restaurants or something, or grab a sandwich from one of the shops and eat it as I go, or even buy one in Dubrovnik the day before, right? Because I'll be going down into the old town Dubrovnik on the Wednesday afternoon, because I plan to do Montenegro on the Thursday, the very next day, okay? Because Friday I've got the Elefiti Islands and the Sunset Cruise, and I'm going to be on the ship all day, including going from the cruise port to the old town, because the Karaka team got in touch and said I could stay on. So that's brilliant of them. So on the Thursday, though, the day before, I will go to Montenegro. So on the Wednesday afternoon, when I go down to Dubrovnik to do the city walls, I will call into one of the bakeries down there, and there's one near the market square, and I can grab a sandwich. And I can keep that wrapped up in something and take it with me on the Thursday. So that can be my lunch, basically. So rather than go to a restaurant in Kotor to eat, I can take this sandwich with me in my man bag, along with my bottle of water, because I'll have that with me because it'll be really warm. And I can eat that as I'm walking in the old town of Kotor. So when we get to the entrance of the old town, where the guide says, right, we meet back at the bus at this time, I can go into the old town, eat the sandwich as I'm going, and then go straight to the steps and walk as much of the fort as possible, right, in the time that I've got. Because like I've said, you usually get about 3 hours, okay? So it takes about 40 minutes to get to the top. So I need to get there ASAP. So if I'm in Kotor by 12, it's going to take me till near enough 1 o'clock to get to the top of the fort. Then I've got to come back down, okay? So I only need to spend 15-20 minutes up there, because I know I've got a good 40-minute walk back down. Coming down's a lot easier. Going up's tiring. And you have to stop every so often, because it is tiring, because it's basically up like a spiral like that, right? So you're walking up the steps, it's like that, all the way up like a snake, all the way up to the top, okay? But coming down is easier. So I need to get up there pretty quickly. So if I'm in the old town as fast as midday, 12:05, and I think, well, we've got to meet back at the bus at 3:30, I've got 3.5 hours to go and tackle that fort, and then come back down, have a bit of time to look around the shops before I have to head back out to go to the bus to go back to Dubrovnik, right? So I'll get as much footage as I can when I'm up there. Lots of panorama shots, lots of videos and selfies as well. I won't be able to do live streams, but the video footage will be edited so they'll be on as episodes, okay? So it gives you guys out there something to watch. So that's the first change with Montenegro. The second one is when I go to Mostar, which will be on the Saturday. So again, with this, you usually stop at the place called Neum on the way into Bosnia, where you stop at the hotel for a drink and a toilet stop, and then you proceed to Mostar, okay? And this trip will also include Kravica waterfalls, which is brilliant, okay? But we go to Mostar first, and you generally get 3 hours there, which gives you time to have lunch, and also to go on another walking tour with the guide, okay? Well, again, I'm not going to join the guide on the walking tour, because I've been on it that many times, and it's usually the same dude anyway, and I've seen him before, so I know roughly who it'll be. But it might be a woman guide this time, but it was a man last time, and I recognise him for the last couple of times I've been. So when we get to the bus park in Mostar, I will go off and do my own thing, okay? Or I might go with the guide for part of the route, until we cross the road to go towards the old town. And I might then say to the guy, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to go off and do my own thing, because I've been on this tour before. No offence to what you're saying, but I've been on this tour before, and I'd like to actually go and explore it on my own and go and have some lunch and do my own thing, if that's okay with you. It's not compulsory to go on the walking tours, or I could even mention it to the guide on the coach before I get off and say, if you don't mind, I'm not going to join the walking tour, but as long as I know what time we've got to be back with the bus, I will ensure that I'm back here for the coach, right? Again, it's usually about 2-3 o'clock, right? Depending what time we get to Mostar, it's usually around 11 o'clock in the morning. So we're usually there till about 2, and then we go to the waterfalls, and then we're there an hour or so, and then we head back to Dubrovnik, right? So, and then back through the border, and then on to Dubrovnik, right? So it's an all-day trip, but again, it's worth it. It is worth every single cent. So the plan will be to basically go into Mostar, find out what time the coach is going to leave, and I will just go off on my own, straight into the old town, over the old bridge. I'll do some footage of the old bridge, both sides of it, and then I will head up to the mosque that's up the other side of the bridge, which is not in use anymore, but you can visit it, right? And then you can climb the steps of the minaret to the top, and you generally get a full panorama of Mostar and the old town and the bridge and the river, and it is fantastic. And I will get plenty of footage from up there, plenty of photographs, plenty of selfies, come back down the steps, and then I will head and have some lunch, or I'll go and have some lunch first, which is near this mosque. In fact, it's a restaurant that the guide usually recommends, the walking tour guide usually recommends, and I will go there and have some cevapi, which is fantastic Bosnian food, which is near a mosque, and then I will head over the old bridge, go to visit the other mosque where you can climb the minaret, get the panorama shots, come back down, maybe get some boxes of Greek Bosnian sweets, maybe some apple tea, whatever, because they sell Turkish apple tea, and then I'll head back over the bridge towards the coach, and then it's onwards to the waterfalls. That's the plan anyway, to not go on the walking tours in Montenegro or in Bosnia, so that I can go and explore these places on my own and do as much footage and photographs as possible. And then the next 3 days after that, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'll be in Dubrovnik, and I can go and explore Lokrum Island, and I will spend the whole day on the island and do live streams, do video footage, panoramas of everything. The Fort Royal, the throne, everything, okay? That's the plan, the Botanical Gardens as well, and then head back over to Dubrovnik. I'll do the same with the cable car. I'll do live streams up there, as well as on the city walls, on the fort, on the Mencheta Tower, underneath the Mencheta Tower. I'll be doing plenty of live streams, and in the cave bar, and of course at the hotel. So there'll be lots and lots of live streams and lots of footage. So I thought I would just share this video update with you regarding my plans for when I go out there, that there will not be, I'm not going to join any of the walking tours. I just want to go out there and just do my own thing on the trips. Obviously find out what time we meet back for the coach to move on to go back to Dubrovnik or the next place. But I will go and do my own thing and do plenty of footage for you guys out there so that you can enjoy it. So I hope this video has helped. So please remember to subscribe at CarlSmith25. I will leave that at the end of this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.